Hello, Sigrid. This is my first video that I'm posting. I am posting about the symptoms that I have lived after chemotherapy session. I was diagnosed with stage 3A breast cancer, hormone receptive, last year in August. It's now February, so 8 months ago. At that moment, I was told I was going to have a mastectomy, followed by chemotherapy, followed by radiotherapy, and followed by hormone therapy, or what I think should be called anti-hormone therapy. I already lived through the mastectomy in September, and then I had also my chemotherapy. My last chemotherapy session was 2 weeks ago, which I'm super happy about. I can't express how happy I'm about that. What drug was I on? I was on taxotere, or what is otherwise called TC, and it was given to me every 3 weeks, except for the last two, because in between I had a non-cancer related issue. Basically, they just had to remove my gallbladder. That was giving me some trouble. So I had a bigger gap between the fifth and sixth chemo session, 6 weeks instead of 3. So, what were the effects of my first chemotherapy? First of all, the effects came 3 days after the chemo. So, the day of the chemo, no effects. Second day, none either. And the third day, I started getting sick, feeling nauseous. I had a terrible headache also. I believe that my headache, and my oncologist believes that too, is due to the fact that I also gave up coffee all of a sudden, and so I had a terrible headache. So my first tip is, if you drink coffee, give it up before your chemotherapy slowly, so that you don't have this terrible headache on top. I gave up coffee because I couldn't stand it immediately after having the chemotherapy. I couldn't drink coffee. So not only did I have nausea and the headache, I was also having quite a dark mindset. I didn't realize how much this poisoning affects your brain also, and this happened after each of the chemotherapy sessions. The only thing is that afterwards I felt I handled it better, because I knew that as soon as I started feeling better, so this darkness would go away as well. So for my first chemo, the nausea, the worst effects lasted 5 days, and this darkness is what they said, darkness and headache. But on the 6th day, when I started feeling better, really, I was happy, super happy. I've heard lots of people talk about the roller coaster effect, and I understand it now. You're just so happy when you start feeling better. And during those first 5 days, I wasn't hungry. I ate because you have to eat, and so I lost quite a bit of weight. I think I lost like 3 kilos, which I gained back before the next time. And I also got a rash on my neck. I had super sensitive gums. I had a terrible stomach ache each time I went to the loo. And all those things left quite quickly. So within a week, I was better. And so that was the first session. After that, I went to the doctor. I told her my symptoms, and she reduced for the second chemo. Sorry, I'm dropping my phone. I'm not very good at this. So after the second, the oncologist reduced the doses to 80%, and so my second chemo, the bad effects were for 3 days instead of 5. It was much better. It was much more bearable. The first time, after the chemo, I literally said, I don't want this. I'm not going to have this again. And I felt so bad, but of course I changed my mind and decided to go ahead with the second one. And of the different effects, the ones that are quite cumulative are fatigue. So you are tired. I was tired all the time. I am tired still all the time. I resting doesn't help. So it's a fatigue that's not better because you rest. So sitting around and lying around won't help. And moving around does help. And so doing some kind of exercise, even if it's just 5 minutes, going out for a walk of 5 minutes. And that's the approach I took to try and walk every day. I also took some very soft yoga lessons that are given in a centre not far from me for cancer patients, and that was helpful too. So that's an advice the doctors give you: do some exercise, keep active. It doesn't help not to do anything. I mean, if you're feeling very, very tired, then and you find it difficult to walk too much, walk less, but do a little. So do what you can. And so that's something that got worse. I find it still hard to go upstairs. I live on the second floor and I have to rest in between floors. And considering I was pretty active before, I don't know if I mentioned I'm 57 years old, but okay, I'm not 80 yet. I should be able to go up my stairs. And so that was something that was cumulative. And a symptom that I got that was not mentioned to me was, but I saw afterwards online that it was quite common, was the teary eyes. And I heard that some people call it taxotere. Well, spelled differently, sounds the same, T-E-A-R instead of T-E-R-E. And I understand why. Especially at the 5th chemo, I was literally crying all the time. I had to explain to people, no, I'm not sad. This is just the effect of the chemotherapy. So, yeah, that was really annoying. Felt it was quite embarrassing to be crying like that all the time. It's better now, especially since I had a 6-week gap between the 5th and 6th chemo. That really helped. After the 6th chemo, I do have that teary eyes, but less, and I've got very swollen eyes. That still stays, and I hope it will go away soon. I also, like I think most people, lost my hair. I decided to shave my hair as soon as it started dropping out because I found it quite, I didn't want to see the sad process of my hair dropping out. And I didn't realize though that I would also lose my eyebrows. I've actually done my eyebrows myself. I've colored them myself. I just have a few little hairs left. I hardly have any eyelashes left. I think I've got maybe 2 on one side. I don't know, I haven't counted them. And that was one of the things that was worrying me a lot when I found out that I was going to lose my eyebrows, was how to draw my eyebrows back. And I sort of did a lot of research, and I'm going to post separately the products that I use. Also, I'm going to make another post on the makeup and creams and stuff, all the experience I've gained. Anyway, going back to the symptoms, I think I mentioned the most important ones that I had. I would say, as advice, there's lots of people who post on TikTok, etc., who will tell you. There was one girl who said, literally, "Oh, your teeth will drop out," and I'm like, no. Not everybody's teeth will drop out. So just be careful what posts you're looking at, and try and look at good sources, and don't believe everything you see. It's not that people are lying, but it refers to their particular situation, and sometimes you don't know a lot about the situation, how long they've been on chemo, what drug they're on, what other drugs they might be on at the same time. It's difficult to know. And I don't think I've missed anything. If I have, I will add it at the end. I will do some editing. I do hope you found it a bit useful, and yeah, if you have any questions, just post them and I will answer. Okay, ciao.